Hey everybody, today's video is all about McCartney III and my full review of McCartney III. But before we get into that, let's just talk about a little bit of a detour. The Beatles this morning released 5 minutes from the new Peter Jackson Get Back film, taken from the Beatles' original Let It Be film. Just released 5 minutes of footage, and holy cow, it is amazing. First of all, it looks stunning. It's never looked better. I've seen various different versions of the Let It Be film that have come out either on bootleg or officially, or like just excerpts from the anthology. All of that footage has been put to shame. This new footage is crystal clear. It's amazing. It's like it was shot yesterday. So great. And it's just all footage, almost all footage, probably like 90% of the footage that they have in this 5-minute clip is stuff I've never ever seen before. So it's really amazing, and I highly recommend checking that out. It's on the Beatles YouTube channel. It's also been posted around on all like the different Beatles social media platforms and stuff like that. So definitely worth checking out for sure. It's definitely a different take on that whole time period. The 5-minute clip, it's all the Beatles being very upbeat, kind of dancing around, being very kind of like joking around with each other. So, and as I'm sure a lot of you know, that's kind of the picture they're trying to paint now of those sessions, saying that they weren't as dark and terrible as they were originally made out to be, and that really they were something a little bit different. And that's what they're really trying to push. Now, I don't know really where the truth lies. I'm sure it's somewhere in between there. I'm sure they weren't quite as bad as they were meant out to be, but I'm sure they're also not going to be as sunshiny and happy as they're going to make it out to be as well. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that, but definitely worth checking out that little sneak peek video on their YouTube channel. It's amazing. But let's get into McCartney III. Now, I've listened to this probably like 6 or 7 times now at this point. I've listened to it 2 times on the day it came out on Friday. I listened to it twice on Spotify, and I liked it both of those times. But then I listened to it when I finally got my this vinyl pressing, which arrived on Saturday, and I listened to it about 5 times on vinyl since then, and I love this vinyl pressing. It sounds really great. So mine is the standard edition on black vinyl, and this was pressed in Germany, as you can see there, standard black vinyl, and I have yet to put it in a mobile fidelity sleeve, and there's a reason for that. I'm still going to do that, but I'll talk about that in a little bit here when I get into the quality of the pressing, all that kind of stuff. But first, let's just talk about the music. So I really think this album was such a pleasant surprise. I gotta say that my expectations were very low for this. I think got a little bit burned, like maybe a lot of people, with Paul's last album, Egypt Station. Egypt Station, when it came out, for me was a bit of a letdown. When Egypt Station first came out, I was pretty let down, and then as I listened to it more and more, I liked it more and more. And now I actually do kind of appreciate Egypt Station for what it is. But gotta say, it did put a little bit of a kind of a bad taste in my mouth when I heard that Paul was going to release this McCartney III album, just because I thought like it's a little bit too soon for Paul to be putting out new music after he just put out Egypt Station. But obviously, what do I know? I'm not Paul McCartney. And he put this out, and this, in my opinion, is really great. I don't like rating, giving albums ratings or whatever, but I suppose if you said to me, give it a rating between 1 and 10, I would give this a solid 8. It's got a bunch of really great songs. I love the production on this. The highlight for this on this album for me is Paul's guitar playing. His guitar playing, either on electric guitar or an acoustic guitar, is really great. Really organic sound, and I think he's a very underrated guitar player. He does a lot of cool like harmony guitar parts on this album. Harmony parts are like more than one line played at one time to create like a harmony, like a vocal harmony but on guitar. And I just really think he did a great job on this album, and I think there's a number of reasons for that, why this is so good. First off, there was no pressure on Paul for this album. It was very much just like he's got some time, let's just record an album and see what happens. And I think that lack of that extra pressure really helped Paul. So he wasn't trying to be, modern or collaborate with some young producer or something like that, which he's kind of done in the past, which I don't blame him for, by the way. But this is just pure Paul. And it's just, the results are really, really, really great. Now, let me talk about each of the songs on here. First off, my favorite song on the album, if I had to choose one song, is the song Seize the Day. Seize the Day, I'm not a big fan of how it starts. It kind of starts like a lot of the Egypt Station songs start for me. It's like that Paul's kind of new songwriting style. But when it kicks in and you get that descending guitar line on the chorus, it's really, really a fantastic song. It has a great bridge as well. And it's probably the most Beatle-y sounding song on the album. And there are actually a few songs on here that are pretty Beatles-like. But yeah, Seize the Day is really, really great. And if I had to pick my second favorite song, I'd probably pick Slidin', which is the last song on side 1. And Slidin' is just really, really heavy, a heavy, heavy Paul song. I love that guitar riff. I love when the bass kicks in and the drums. Just very, very, very cool track. So those are my two favorite songs from the album. But like I said, I like almost all the songs on here. All right, now let's go one song at a time, starting from the very first song, Long-Tailed Winter Bird, which is, I think it's great. I think it's a very interesting choice for an album opener. It's essentially an instrumental with a little bit of vocal overdub from Paul, but it's really, really cool, and it just kind of sets the tone of the album, and it builds and it builds and it builds off this really kind of interesting acoustic guitar riff. Very cool album opener, I think. So I really like that song a lot. The next song, Find My Way, which Paul released a music video for this, and I recommend watching that music video because it's very, very cool of Paul in his studio working on the song. And Find My Way, I like it. I think it's really, really great. It's a very typical Paul McCartney, if you had to pick like a single from the record, and I think this is the single from the record, it's makes a lot of sense. That song, in my opinion, could have been on like the new album. It's very much has that kind of upbeat sound. I love the chorus, and it's a really, really, really great song. Pretty Boys. Pretty Boys is my least favorite song on the album, but that being said, I don't hate it in any way. I just think it just kind of sounds a bit typical to me. It doesn't really go anywhere. The lyrics are a little bit kind of weird for me. They kind of, I don't know. I'm being very, very critical, obviously, right now. But yeah, I just don't love that song all that much. But it's okay. Women and Wives. At first, I didn't like this song all that much either. Kind of struck me as kind of a bit weird. Paul singing it in this kind of like low old man voice that he's kind of developed into. But actually, upon further listening to this album, I like Women and Wives now quite a lot. It's really, really different, and it's just got an interesting vibe about it. So I do like that track now. Lavatory Lil. This one is like, it's kind of in the vein of those kind of wacky Paul songs, like the Obla Di Obla Da, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Lovely Rita, even like She Came Through the Bathroom Window. Those tunes that the lyrics seem just so wacky and weird, but they just work and they're so fun and playful. And that's exactly what this song is, Lavatory Lil, on this album. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And I think it's a song that maybe over time I will like a bit more the more times I listen to it. So I know a lot of people, though, by the way, like have cited that song, Lavatory Lil, as their favorite song on the album, which I think is kind of interesting. Slidin', already talked about that one, but yeah, I do love Slidin'. Just a very, very heavy song, and just really, really cool, especially because Paul's 78 years old. 78, and he's writing heavy riff songs. I mean, that's fantastic. Okay, opening song on side B, Deep, Deep Feeling, is amazing. I think this song is so great. I love the drums on this song. The drums, first of all, they sound fantastic. The way they were recorded is great. Paul plays them fantastically. And it's just a really, really cool song that I was kind of surprised at how much I liked it. So Deep, Deep Feeling is really cool. The Kiss of Venus. When I first heard The Kiss of Venus, they released like a snippet of it a couple of weeks ago, and I did not like it. I thought it was just kind of like, oh God, here we go again. Paul with these acoustic songs where he's just kind of, his voice sounds a little bit weird. But upon repeated listens, I actually kind of like The Kiss of Venus now. I think it's an interesting song. The melody's very interesting. And I think it works within the album. So The Kiss of Venus, I've warmed up to. Seize the Day is the next song, and like I said, that's my favorite song on this album. As soon as I heard that song, right away it just stood out to me like, okay, this is great, and this is Paul McCartney, and he has that for me every time I've ever heard a new Paul McCartney album. Like I remember the first Paul McCartney album I ever heard that I was aware of when it was brand new was Flaming Pie, and I remember when I heard the song Young Boy. It just stuck out to me as like, wow, this is a great song. And ever since, and with all of his newer albums, there's always at least one song that's like that. So every album, he's always had like that one song that just kind of sticks out. And Seize the Day is that song on McCartney III, for me at least. The next song, Deep Down, another one I really, really like. It's a long song, and he builds and he builds and he builds. And again, the drums are great. And it's just a very interesting groove for Paul, and it works very, very well. So I like Deep Down a lot. Then the last song, Winterbird, When Winter Comes, is actually, so Winterbird, of course, is just like a reprise of the opening instrumental part. There's a little bit of that. And then When Winter Comes is a song that he recorded with George Martin back in 1993, I guess, during like the Off the Ground sessions. I believe that's that time period. And it's just kind of a leftover acoustic track, and his voice sounds completely different on that song, and he sounds great. It's a kind of just a fun little McCartney acoustic ditty, in the same vein as like Great Day from Flaming Pie, or like Calico Skies from Flaming Pie. All Calico Skies is an amazing song. But it's a nice album ender for McCartney III, When Winter Comes. My only criticism of it is that it sounds out of place on here. It almost sounds like a bonus track because it just sounds different in every single way. Even the way the acoustic guitar is being recorded and Paul's voice, obviously, it just sounds a little bit out of place on this album. I think if you would have ended the album with Deep Down and then a little bit of the Winterbird reprise, it would have been perfect. But that's just my 2 cents on this. Now let's talk about the pressing, the actual vinyl pressing of this album. So this is the only one I picked up. Someone made a comment on my last video where I did the unboxing of this. They said that in one of my other videos I claimed to have ordered this on Amazon, but then I ordered it from Target or something. So just to clear things up, I only ordered this from Target. I never ordered it from Amazon. Maybe in one of my videos, maybe I did like misspeak and I said, I pre-ordered it from Amazon, just because that's like a thing that we do order from Amazon a lot, my wife and I, and maybe that's what happened there. But just so you all know, as if it matters, because it doesn't matter. But I ordered this from Target, pre-ordered it about a month ago, and so this one is, like I said, the standard black vinyl, and in the dead wax, it was mastered at Sterling Sound. And this was printed in Germany. Now, the sound quality is really, really great. It sounds really, really nice. Granted, I have nothing to compare it to, so I'm just basing it off of this pressing alone. And to my ears, it sounds very good. My one complaint is that the vinyl itself is a little bit noisy. Certain songs like Women and Wives, there is a bit of surface noise going on, which is kind of annoying, but it's not terrible. and some of the other songs as well. There's also a slight warp. The warp is not audible at all. It's just more of like an annoyance, because when you buy a brand new record, you don't want it to be warped at all. You want it to be totally flat. There's a slight warp, but again, it's not audible, and just a little bit of a complaint. But overall, this is an excellent album. I think that if you like Paul McCartney at all, and who doesn't, then you will be happy with this record. And I definitely recommend picking it up on vinyl. For me personally, I much prefer to listen to almost everything on vinyl, and this is no exception. This sounded great. It works as a vinyl record. I love to have side 1 and side 2. Especially love how side 1 ends with Slide In and then it opens up with Deep Deep Feelin'. I think that works great. So McCartney III, for me, I'm so happy with it. I'm going to listen to it more and more, and I'm not even tired of it yet. And like I said, I've listened to it about 7 times. So that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you think about McCartney III. Let me know if you picked up maybe multiple different pressings of it and which pressing you think sounds the best. Because you never know, I might pick up another pressing if I end up finding it somewhere. Although it seems like a lot of the pressings are sold out or, on eBay already for crazy amounts of money. And anyway, that's it though, McCartney III. So I'd love to know in the comments below what you think about it. And that's it for now. I think it's great. So stay tuned for more videos. And hey, take care. Bye for now.